Vidi Video. I came, I saw, I videoed. I'm Diane Curran, and in this series, we mosey around ancient and modern history in search of what makes marketing tick. So who wants to talk about taxes? Well, mostly nobody. So I went searching for a little levity online, and guess what popped up first? The IRS website. No kidding. Among their quotes, "The hardest thing in the world to understand is the income tax," said by none other than Albert Einstein, our favorite physicist. Another person said, like mothers, taxes are often misunderstood but seldom forgotten. That was Lord Bramwell, a 19th century English jurist. And speaking of England, the U.S. has a pretty stormy relationship with taxes, and as a Boston native, I was raised on the incendiary story of tea being dumped into Boston Harbor over no taxation without representation. And so began the American Revolution. Yet according to humorist Gerald Barzan, taxation with representation ain't so hot either. Taxes are still a sore subject. The IRS quotes an unknown source this way: "People who complain about taxes can be divided into two classes, men and women." The IRS should know, after all, they hear it all. Yet Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., esteemed U.S. Supreme Court Justice, said, "Taxes are what we pay for civilized society." So why does tax time matter to modern marketers? First off, remember that tax time is a way of sneaking up on people in their private lives and upon small business owners. The calendar's plain as day, but our emotions, not so much. Accountants know this firsthand. CPAs barely get any sleep between April 1st and April 15th each year. Seasonality is not limited to Mother Nature, and planning your own business outreach should factor in tax seasons. Tax jitters kick into overdrive. During presidential election cycles, it triggers an odd kind of wait-and-see behavior that can upset the best-laid plans in more typical years. Large corporations track such data routinely, but small businesses too often ignore or misread cues through the filter of their own personal optimism or pessimism. Secondly, tax time matters to modern marketers because it matters to your customers and prospects. Whether you provide need-to-have or nice-to-have products and services, your clientele's mindsets seesaw between confidence and concern, between candor and concealment, especially when you ask them why they said no to your best offer. Certainly, this is true around tax time. Oops. So marketers take heed. As Will Rogers, the humorist, said, "Income taxes made more liars out of the American people than golf." Yes, that's worth a car horn going off in the background. That thought puts me in mind of a warning about technology. We can debate privacy, but computer networks make it easy, and increasingly so, for state and local and federal tax databases to talk to each other, and they will. Remember, it was tax evasion that finally landed notorious gangster Al Capone in jail when nothing else could touch him. The 2016 tax season's being dominated by headlines of the Panama Papers with tax inversion, tax evasion, and what some financial pundits say points to an international kleptocracy that siphoned upwards of $32 trillion out of the mainstream economies of the world. But on a more immediate and direct scale for the small business owner, our Uncle Sam wants to see business profits. 3 of the last 5 years for most businesses, as noted by Intuit on their TurboTax website. Too many years of losses, and the IRS will rule your business a hobby. So you want to be out in front on that score. How to prevent net losses? You know the answer. Market proactively to grow sales. If December 31st came and went without putting business and marketing plans in place, make April 15th your alarm clock signal. In any case, you've still got 8.5 months to get in action before another December 31st rolls around to market consistently and make this your best year yet. Veni Vidi Video is about making marketing creative, often by changing our mindset. In this series, we're going to keep hopping into our time machine in the quest for heroics and harrowing tales and iconic symbols and time-tested themes to bring to our modern marketing world. I'm Diane Curran, inviting you to subscribe to our channel now for new videos to refresh your marketing ideas at your own pace. To learn more about our work, visit themarketingdeal.com, and I want to thank you so much for joining me.